Hey guys, it's Delo here, and this is part 2 of my DIY Zgallerie inspired candle holders. So if you haven't seen part 1, be sure to click the link and check that out. Right now I'm just going to get right into this video. So I'm going to review what pieces of wood you need. First, you're going to need two 12-inch 1x2s. Next, you're going to need two 16-inch 1x2s. Then you're going to need two 2-inch 1x2s, and finally you're going to need two 7-inch 1x4s. So this wood is going to make two candlesticks. Also on the table are drill bits, a Phillips drill bit, wood screws, a sanding block, wood stain and a cloth, a tape measure, scissors, pencil, a drill, and white chalk paint. Alright, so before I stained the wood, I did sand it a little bit, especially on the ends. They're kind of split once you get them cut at the hardware store, so you want to just get off those split ends to prevent any splintering. This is actually my first time using stain, so I was kind of timid, but it turns out I love it. The color of this stain I'm using is called English Chestnut, and I really wanted something that had like a reddish undertone, and really the little picture on the can, it was pretty straight on with the color that it turned out to be. Now mind you, you can deepen the stain if you apply more and you let it set a little longer, so you do have to kind of play with it. Also with this rag I'm using, is from the Dollar Tree, and I did switch it up because it snagged quite a bit. It was like fibers that kept coming off of the rag and kind of snagging on the ends of the wood. So I ended up using like an old washcloth, or I made it into an old washcloth now because now I'm going to just use it solely for staining. So I did end up switching that by the time I got to the second piece. You guys, I just love how the stain just brings the wood grain out. It just brings the wood to life. I so enjoyed this part. I just wanted to keep going and keep finding things to stain, but of course this is all I had in terms of wood for this project. So here, I don't know why the wood looks so yellow, but I promise you guys it's not that color. I'll work on it. So right here I am marking off 2-inch sections of the longer wood pieces because I plan on painting stripes on these candlesticks. So first I mark everything off, and then I'm going to be taping off the 2-inch sections with painter's tape. And I do apologize I didn't mention the painter's tape in the beginning, but that's because I really didn't know what design I was going to go with until it kind of just happened as I did the project. So please bear with me. There may be a couple other things I pull into this project that wasn't mentioned at the very beginning, but you know, sometimes your plans change. You got to switch things up. So that's a prime example this time of what happened, because I had no plan on painting stripes. Okay, so now everything is taped off, and I'm just showing you the areas that are going to be painted. I'm using the white chalk paint, and when I paint, I am going to be going in the direction of the tape, just making sure not to brush up against the painter's tape, because I don't want to run the risk of the paint bleeding or getting behind the painter's tape. So I'm constantly flipping my brush to make sure that I don't run that risk of like ruining the paint job. used about 3 coats of paint, and I didn't let it dry completely before removing the tape. I find that the tape comes off better if you don't let it dry completely, so it's dry enough that, you know, it won't smear, but it's not like completely hardened onto the wood. So here I am drilling a hole into the middle of the base of the wine glasses, the plastic wine glasses that I picked up from Dollar Tree. They come in a set of 6, and I'm just using the base of it to place a hole in the middle of that base. And the metal, that's a candle holder I'm using right there, and I'm just using it for stability so I can make the hole with the drill, you know, without it going everywhere. So that's just holding the base for me while I make the hole. It is plastic, so do be careful if you're going to use these. I made the hole with little to no issues. I didn't like ruin them. All I made was a hole. They didn't crack on me or anything like that. But it could crack if you use too much pressure. So just be careful when you're doing this. So here I am preparing to glue the plastic base to the glass ashtrays. Those are glass ashtrays that I picked up from Dollar Tree in my recent haul. And right here I'm just preparing to glue them. Now I did make a mistake in that I was supposed to be attaching the plastic base to the little white wood right there. Before I actually glued it to the ashtray. So I didn't realize I had done this until after I had just turned the camera off. So I just hurried up and took them back apart, and then I screwed the plastic onto the wood, and then I glued it. So I'm sorry I missed that footage, you guys, but I had to work fast because I didn't want the glue to begin to set on me. So I do apologize for missing that footage, but you'll see the end result in another frame. Here I'm showing you that I have outlined my base as I did in my first video. I made those dots because that's where I'm going to be drilling holes at so that I can attach the striped candlesticks to. So I'm going to drill holes in where I marked at the dots, and then I'm going to be drilling screws through the bottom of the base to come up through the top so that I can attach the striped sticks down onto them. In order to do that, though, I do have to drill a hole into the middle of each of those sticks at the bottom, as you see here. So I'm drilling a hole there, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other stick. Drill the screws up through the bottom and attach these sticks onto the base with a screw. So here I am showing you the actual part of the candle holder that's gonna hold the candle. You can see in the middle there is where the screw was that I was talking about. And so right here I am drilling a hole, and I'm gonna be doing it on either side of the candlestick. I'm going completely through the first stick, and I'm drilling into the second piece, that little middle piece, and I'm going to do that on either side because then I'm going to be placing a screw on either side to hold the middle piece, that piece, in place. And here's the final product. So that concludes this two-part video series. Is it a series if it's only two? I think so. Short series. That concludes this two-part short video series. If you have not checked out part one, make sure you do so. And so now I'm going to let you guys know which one of these is my favorite. And my favorite one is, of course, the wood and the whites. That's kind of what I was going for. I kind of did this one just to have more options, but I absolutely love the marble and the gold and the white. It's very trendy, and so I really like both of them, but I kind of love this one over here. Also, it looks pretty nautical, and that was unintentional. I actually painted this one with the stripes as a plan B. So I like it. I mean, it is kind of nautical feeling and summery, but I still like it. I think it's great. So if you guys like these DIYs, please give these videos a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one really, really soon. Bye.